making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk is prepared to schedule the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2022. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local stores, the Star Ledger and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2022. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari? Here. Councilman David?
Here.
Councilman Finestrella?
Here.
Councilman Pence?
Here.
Councilman Puglisi?
Here.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Here.
Okay. Move on to the finance report. Councilman Puglisi.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two things. The Finance Committee met this past week. We discussed the various items and avenues, just very high level, and how to increase revenue and possibly decrease spending. Also, you can see there's a first reading of a fees ordinance, which I would like to thank our Borough Clerk, our Construction Department, Anthony Manguso, for comparing, and our liaison, Councilman Finestrella, for comparing what we charge compared to what other towns charge, and we found that we were much lower in many aspects. So we're just bringing these fees up to what the standard and customary price would be. So, and that's, again, a revenue-saving measure. So if at the very least, for certain aspects, we're breaking even and not losing money. By way of example, some of the pickup items, we pushed a fee on for white goods. I just know, like, if I go to PC Richards or whatever, they ask me, do they want me to take away, or do they want to take away my refrigerator? I said, yeah, what am I going to do with the one that doesn't work? Well, that's on $100. So our fee would still be less than that, much less than that, and again, it's a service that we provide the town, and it's certainly cheaper than it would be if you hired a third party. And that's all I have.
Great. Okay, Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is, as residents know, leaf pickup is still continuing. I know there's been some complaints about it's taking a long time, the streets have still got a lot of leaves, but residents need to understand that we have one truck and one driver to go through the whole town. So it's going to take some time, but we're going to continue to do it until it's all done. So just be patient, it will get done. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick before I start, I'd like to congratulate Joe Ferry, the DPW Employee of the Month. He does a great job. He's a hard worker, and just want to extend my congratulations to him. For the month of December 2022, the Kenilworth Police Department responded to 1,220 calls for service and 147 911 calls.
Wow.
There were a total of 196 hours of overtime for the month, which was primarily scheduled for patrol overtime and dispatch overtime. There were a total of 412 hours of training for November, which included 104 hours of defensive tactics training and 248 hours of firearms qualifications and training. And there were a total of 181 traffic summonses issued for November, and 7 sick days with an additional 14 and a half hours of sick occurrences for the month. Also on November 12th, Officers Dominic Riccelli and Officer Leonardo Felipe conducted a motor vehicle stop in the area of the Boulevard and Market Street. And in the course of their investigation, the officers found 194 folds of heroin and 81 vials of crack cocaine. The subject was found to be wanted on an outstanding warrant from Newark Police Department and was subsequently charged by the Kenilworth Police Department with possession of CBS controlled dangerous substance, and distribution of a controlled dangerous substance. Chief Seuss would like to commend the officers for going above and beyond what was a regular motor vehicle stop and getting a tremendous amount of dangerous narcotics off the street and being proactive. On November 21st, Officer Robert Ruger conducted a motor vehicle stop of a Virginia resident on the boulevard near 13th Street. The driver was found to be illegally transporting a loaded Glock 19 firearm, along with two 30-round magazines of hollow point ammunition. The weapon, the magazines, and the ammunition were seized, and the driver was arrested and subsequently charged with illegal possession of the weapon, illegal ammunition, and high-capacity magazines possession. Chief Seuss would again like to recognize Officer Ruger for going above and beyond on a normal motor vehicle stop. And also last week, I know it was in NJ.com in the news, Jamie Fontanez of Elizabeth pled guilty in federal court to robbing dozens of liquor stores with a firearm in Union, Middlesex, and Essex counties over the past several years. Fontanez was identified as the individual who robbed the Kenworth Liquors in the center of town in February of 2019 while brandishing a firearm. Sergeant Michael Scaniello worked with a countywide task force in an exhaustive investigation to identify and apprehend Fontanez. And Fontanez faces a maximum sentence of life in prison when he is sentenced later in 2023. Chief Seuss would like to commend Sergeant Scaniello for his diligent efforts over the past 2.5 years in getting a dangerous repeat offender off the streets. Also, catalytic converter thefts tailed off during the month of November. There was only one theft for the month, which was on November 22nd. And that was taken from a work van parked in the lot behind 482 Boulevard. And also, I would like to bring up, I was at the Senior Citizens today, and we had spoken about the defibrillator, which I believe you ordered, right, Chief? So it has been ordered.
Good. We
have a location for it there. We're still working on training. When I had spoken to the seniors today, nobody can kneel to go down and apply pads to somebody that needs a defib. So I had spoken to Darlene, who's here tonight, as the one who runs the rec center for the town. She is going to get certified. So at least we have a person in the building
Good.
that is certified that can use the AED. Anybody can use the AED that's certified, but we don't want somebody using it that's not certified and they get hurt themselves or hurt somebody else. So. And also, just on a tail note, I had spoken to Chief Kruger from the fire department, and for the Santa's Express, I know he said he reached out to you, Mayor, too, that if any council people are interested in participating the week of December 12th to the 15th from 6 to 9:30 p.m., there's an open invitation for mayor and council to participate. That's it.
Excellent, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Planning and zoning, Councilman Finestrella.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of reports. The October report for the construction department collecting building fees in the amount of $10,588. Also was collected trust state fees in the amount of $401, and miscellaneous fees were $1,130. The November construction report had a building fee collection of $11,792, trust state fees of $1,038, miscellaneous fees of $1,164, and trailer fees of $900. So that did help the borough, and then with the increase of the fees, we should see some increases in those numbers. The next planning and zoning meeting is tomorrow evening. Work session's at 6:30, the meeting starts at 7, and currently on the agenda is just one resolution to pass, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilwoman Cesari.
Thank you, Mayor. I just realized I forgot to bring the Board of Health papers with me, but I think I remember a little bit. So I'll just go through that. We had the rabies clinic on November 5th, I believe it was, and I think there were 19 animals inoculated, which is good. It was kind of like the same from last year, but it's a good thing that we offer this. There were quite a few from out of town, so that's a good thing. Board of Health, they reported as of, I'm just trying to remember from what I read, 19 cases, I believe, were reported from the beginning of November.
Cases of COVID?
Yeah. And which has, it's gone down, it's gone up. It's kind of become a stay in our lives, so that's really all I have on the Board of Health. The library, now, I will make the announcements for the library. Adult programming, we have Thursday, December 8th, the Orneys program, 2 to 4 p.m. Thursday, December 15th, the Orneys Library Fiber Night will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. Now, we have children's programming, but registration is limited. So if you plan on attending any of these, please call the library at 908-276-2451. On Wednesday, December 8th, they got this wrong, because today's the 7th and this is Wednesday, right?
Right,
Okay.
must be Thursday.
So I'm going to say it's going to be Thursday. I think they have the Mad Scientist workshop, which will be held at 3:30 from ages 4 to 12. Wednesday, the 21st of December, Good Time String Band will be performing 10:30 to 11. Thursday, the 22nd, Story Time will be held at 3:30 for ages 3 and up. I just really have to say that there's been a lot of repeat programming, so that means that people are liking it. So I urge everybody to continue, look into the library. A lot of people just, put that aside when they're growing up. All the kids they grew up on computers, I know that. But the library is a really good place for resources. And with that, I have to for social services, I had a great meeting with the seniors today. And there were 27 people in attendance for their board meeting. Discussed was CPR training for the director, so that we do have somebody. Now, that was in question last council meeting when I brought up why there's no defibrillator. Here we go. We're good. And other than that, and on December 14th, they're going to swear in their new officers. And I believe in January, we just may have, I don't know, they'll talk amongst themselves the dates when, if people are interested, they could sign up to be CPR trained.
Okay.
Okay? And actually, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Siri. Is there a motion to accept and approve committee reports?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have one ordinance for final adoption tonight. It's ordinance 2022-19, ordinance adopting Chapter 186, unmanned aircraft/drones to the Code of the Borough of Kenilworth.
Is there a motion to open the floor to the public for hearing on ordinance 2022-19?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say on this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public hearing and adopt ordinance 2022-19?
Motion.
Can I have a roll call?
Councilwoman Cesari.
Yes.
Councilman David.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-19 has been adopted.
Okay. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 246. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 246?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Cesari.
Yes.
Councilman David. Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Next for council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
The consent agenda consists of resolutions 247 to 273, excluding 260 and 267, which have been pulled from the agenda. These resolutions will be approved by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilwoman Cesari.
Yes.
Councilman David.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
We have one ordinance for introduction, ordinance 2022-20, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 91, fees and licenses, Article 1, fees generally, Section 1, schedule of fees, and subsection 3, uniform commercial code fees of the municipal code of the Borough of Kenilworth.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-20 for introduction?
Motion? Second?
Councilwoman Cesari.
Yes.
Councilman David.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2022-20, heretofore introduced, does now pass on first reading, and that the said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a special meeting to be held on December 21st, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. or as soon as thereafter as the matter can be reached virtually via Zoom, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the borough clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on final reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage. Councilwoman Cesari.
Yes.
Councilman David.
Yes.
Councilman Finestrella.
Yes.
Councilman Pence.
Yes.
Councilman Puglisi.
Yes.
Councilman Zimmerman.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address. Okay, up.
Hi, Tony Giordano Pasterno, 241 Fortune Avenue.
Hello.
So, hi. I see, and I didn't catch where I could have asked the question about the consent agenda. The resolution that was pulled, 260 for our shared services, can somebody elaborate on why? Maybe Fred, if you could tell us what happened?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Without getting too much into details, because it's, I guess it's almost, it is a, I guess it is a dead deal, but it,
I mean, it's here.
yeah, no, it could be, it appears to be a dead deal, apparently for some reason, even though, this is what I was told, was that even though the mayor was in support, Mayor Mountainside was in support of the plan, the BA was in support of the plan, and at least one other council member that I spoke to was in support of the plan. It turns out like us, sometimes they have their own little disagreements, so it appeared that the majority of that council was not in favor. So that's the reason why it was pulled.
Wouldn't that person have a voice on what happens with his time, other than, like Ken did, that was separate, he was full-time in Roselle Park, part-time here.
Sure, oh, absolutely.
So you're saying it had nothing to do with the CFO there, it was
The
the
council.
council there?
Yeah.
So what's our backup plan?
So we are.
3 weeks.
So understood. We are looking at least, I broached some ideas out loud as to what we can do. Obviously, this would require the mayor's support and ultimately the mayor's decision. But we're looking at other ideas at this point, including doing side, it's a negotiation, so I really can't get too much
Excuse me,
into
Councilman,
it.
yeah, I would just say if we could just end it there, and just say that we're looking into other options that the borough can utilize without getting into details, because it falls into a contract negotiation.
Decision and not the
To make an
financial
appointment with
department as we had done before. I'm confused.
Well, the mayor, I
Like, the
think,
decision
correct me if
prior
I'm
to that
wrong.
or by the
Correct me if I'm wrong.
finance committee?
I believe I think the council president was explaining that the mayor would have to be in agreement with council president in terms of, and if I'm wrong, please, council president, correct me, they would have to both be in agreement like they were on the previous arrangement. Am I correct?
Yeah, my understanding is that that's just something that the mayor has to agree with before, at least to get on the agenda. So that's why. I can't make...
The agenda.
I set the agenda, but if the mayor wants, there are certain appointments where the mayor has full authority to nominate. So if that's, I'm not gonna, if she has that power, then absolutely it's gonna get on the agenda.
Just to get into more
Ultimately,
detail, there are certain positions, official positions, where it's the mayor's appointment. The CFO happens to be one of those. So that's where, they're called officers.
Excuse me for being
No, absolutely.
confused, because a couple months back, it was explained that our form of government, it was a weak mayor position, and that decisions were not made by the mayor. So
It is a weak
that's
form of government, but the mayor still has the power on certain officer
why.
positions.
Okay, good.
That's good to know.
So then it goes to my next question. On 265 and 266, it says these positions were appointed positions. Did they apply? Because I see on the website, there are positions posted for employment. So were there resumes taken and people were vetted, or they were just appointed?
okay, so it's a two-part question, it appears, the Chair. So those aren't one of those officer positions that require nomination by the mayor, but the construction department took the lead on interviewing for those positions. What numbers did you say, 260?
265.
Yeah, 265. So, for example, that one was, the construction department took the lead on. 266 would have been the police department. So I guess it depends what department you're referring to.
Well, both. It says it was an appointment, not that they interviewed and were accepted as one of the applicants. Like, to me, an appointed position is, I say that you could be the next dog catcher. I'm appointing you. You didn't interview for it, you don't have the credentials for it, I'm just appointing you.
No, we don't have, I don't think we have any.
That doesn't mean that you had it, because I see it's still on the website, so people could still apply for that position.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, appointing is, I guess, if we're looking at it, it's a term of art, so it's all subject to council review. Okay, so we have subcommittees, they do their, there's 6 of us here, we are the head of our own little subcommittee, so we take the lead on interviewing for various little
Right.
positions. So, for example, the police department took the lead on the part-time municipal clerk, police.
Violations Bureau clerk for the municipal court.
So the same thing. So those committees, there are only 3 of them. 3 people each
We're
committee.
on council together. I'm asking, were these people, did they submit resumes with other people, and several people were interviewed, and they were the best, and the choice was made to hire them? They were not just an appointed, like, you know what I mean? Like,
As far as I know, there were, I don't,
thing.
I can
That's what
only,
I'm asking, because the jobs are still posted on the borough website, leading me to believe that if somebody wanted to still apply for them, they're still open.
well, they're still open until we vote for today. So today, they're all on the agenda. So the clerk, both those positions are still open technically till
So
the full.
resumes have been submitted for both of these positions, various people interviewed, and these are the chosen candidates by the committee of that department. That's what you're telling me?
I'm not part of those committees, so I can't answer that question, but I can tell you that's the
Okay.
process.
Councilman Finestrella, can you tell me, because you would have been on that committee for the planning board, right?
That's correct.
So, is that how it went?
Yes.
Did you interview several people?
100%, yes, correct.
How many people were interviewed?
I can't say that. I just know there was an interview process, and we decided on who.
Who was on your committee? I know it was you.
I was
We're getting into employment
You-
I didn't
matters.
interview
No, I'm
anybody.
just asking who's on the committee. I didn't ask anything about her resume.
I was on there.
You-
I never got an invitation for a resume, or to, I'm sorry, not a resume, for an interview.
Interview,
Thank you.
meeting, whatever. Okay,
Just pointing that out.
okay. That's what, give a fair chance, and I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe that there's a disagreement as to whether or not Kay got the...
There's no disagreement.
okay.
I never
All
got,
right, that's fine.
you could find it, send it to me.
For
I never got it.
Yeah.
The court did that, but the judge and the court administrator, they had advertised it over the summer, and it was one girl that came in and they interviewed a few people.
Okay.
She left to go back to college, and that's when it reopened, and a lady that's from Westfield, who's already trained, is going to come in and take that spot based on the judge's recommendation and the municipal court administrator.
So it wasn't an open process? by
It was over the
committee?
summer. I don't know if it was done again.
Okay.
Well, if it was posted on the website, it's an open process.
Yeah, but it didn't happen that way, is what he just said. The tax appeal schedule for Merck, do we have a schedule?
The tax appeal?
It says the Merck tax appeal payment schedule.
Oh, the payment schedule, yeah, there's
What
a...
does that mean?
It's set forth in the ordinance, so what we were able to do is to negotiate under the state statute to defer the credits and the payments due to Merck over a 3-year period, rather than having it hit this budget for 1 year, 1.4 million, Ken, am I right? Yeah, around that area, so we broke it up into 3 years as required under, or permitted under state statute.
Perfect, thank you. My last question, it's not on here. Remember that whole dog warden position in the beginning of the year?
Oh, yeah.
Who has that person been accounting to?
The chief.
Like, I've never heard a report. Everybody gives reports about all the different departments. So this person who is our dog warden that we're paying, I believe, $750 a year, maybe we could save money there. But there's been a regular report of how many dogs or what's
I'm going
been
to defer that to the
going on.
chief of police.
Yeah, he comes in, he was coming in over summer, probably twice a month, reported to one of my detectives. He started with 11 pages of dogs that weren't licensed. Over the summer through into September, worked that down to 1 page. Every dog on that list was either licensed or the person cited. So he would come into me, he would create an incident, a cat incident that he was here. So we have a record of him being here, the days he was here, what he did, and he was off.
How does he get his information on where the dogs are? Prior,
From the borough clerk's office, the deputy clerk has a list of...
Prior registered dogs.
From the previous year.
Like if someone gets a dog and never registers the dog, obviously they're not going to get a phone call because no one knows the dog
So
exists.
you're only working off what's in the system? It's not
Correct.
a door-to-door,
No.
listening for a bark?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Or a drive-by.
Or a drive-by listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Well, can I say something?
Well, we're still in the public portion, so we'll wait till we're...
I'll wait till later.
Yep.
Good evening, Rich Paserno, 241 Q2 Avenue. I want to talk a little bit, if I may, to the governing body about some of the things that are going on in town. And it's somewhat disheartening when I take a look at what I'm dealing with as a resident in town, watching people pretty much do what they want as far as construction is concerned. Now, I know that council gets blamed for it, the planning board gets blamed for it, the people up at the building department get blamed for it. But the idea right now, and the buzz in Kenilworth is, there's nobody watching the store. Go do what you want to do, and we'll ask for forgiveness later. You can agree or disagree with me, but you can see what's happening right on the boulevard, starting right next door to La Grilla, all the way down to the end. And recently, this past 2 weeks, we had a contractor illegally dumping in our town in the back of Flexi Van. And I have to say that we need to be more proactive than reactive. So that's millings and dirt and concrete that went back there has contaminated that entire back area. So if nobody's watching and we don't have the right people in place, we need to say, it's okay, just keep doing it. But we cannot prosecute some and not all. So I'm asking the governing body, and congratulations to both of you. I wanted to start out with that. I'm sorry that I didn't. But as you guys come on board and as you others exit, we need a lot of help in our town from the building department because they can't stay on top of it. There's chickens running wild, and there's people putting up fences, and people doing construction that they shouldn't be doing, and illegal dumping. I'm talking about 70 tandem loads of debris was dumped in our town.
Yep.
7. And it is just got to stop. And it stops at the building department because they're all over the place. We have people going, people coming, part-timers. We're going to be a part-time town. We need some help out here, or we're going to be a second-rate town, and none of us want that. I just wanted to express that. So please take a look at it. If you need any more information on what I just talked about, you can certainly reach out to me, but I wanted you all to know what's happening. 70 tandems, a lot of garbage.
Is our construction official aware of that or no?
And they are now.
Yeah.
I got Anthony Moncuso.
Yes.
And the chief, and they did what they had to do. But quite honestly, had I not been working on 9th Street Playground, and Tony saw the dump trucks coming in and out of the back of Flexi Van, and she said, what's that going on back there? I said, they're probably just doing some construction. The next day, I see 10 trucks going in. The mounds of millings and concrete and debris, staggering. So we did what we could do.
This was coming from a job in Westfield. I wound up calling the mayor over in Westfield, and we got to who was actually dumping the debris.
But did they get permission from the people that own Flexi Van? How would they even know to come here?
They said they never-
Unless somebody actually saw them.
It would still be illegal.
Nobody's ever going to know what went on back there. Nobody's going to be able to investigate it. So
I
even if we
agree.
had a construction person,
Right.
if they're sitting in the office, they're not knowing 70 truckloads got dumped.
No, but
So that's not gonna
we're a smart town, Mark. And when there is, at the planning board level and the governing body, we actually make it a point to make sure that we have traffic routes of big trucks coming in and out. You can see these trucks coming in and out, flying down Monroe, coming back up, going up 9th Street, shooting across the boulevard, heading into Westfield. You can see it, you can feel it. That's one part of it. The other part of it is when people are selling their properties and new businesses are opening up and there's not enough monitoring going on. We have tractor trailers right now behind Leisure Village, which was once Leisure Village. All new pavement back there.
Kids Village.
I'm sorry? Kids
Leisure's at the
Hopefully soon. However, they have paved the entire back lot, which they're not allowed to do. There's food trucks back there, refrigerated food trucks, which now come down Market Street, make the right-hand turn on the boulevard, make the left-hand turn on the boulevard, make the right-hand turn going down to 22 on most occasions. But usually, they're flying down the boulevard to get into the Westfield area. So these are the kind of things, as a citizen, I'm seeing, not as a planning board chair, not as a councilman, not as a mayor. I'm seeing them as a citizen. So if I'm seeing them, I think everybody else sees them. Where are these trucks coming from? So if those refrigeration trucks are running and they have food in there and they're delivering, I never saw any of that coming before the planning board. We never saw it, Joe, right? Boy, I don't know if the permit department saw it or zoning saw it. I doubt it, because they would have been denied, and then it would have been kicked up to the planning board. All I guess I'm asking is, let's try to help each other here with these things, because all of a sudden, north, south, east, and west, we're getting pushed around. So,
And just to give the planning board, not the planning board, I'm sorry, the construction official, he is dealing with that situation next to LaGrillia, I know that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's on top of these things. He was on top of all the stuff that happened at Flexi Van that the fire department brought to our attention.
Right.
To my attention, and we worked that out. But you're right, I mean, a lot of times, without an informant or knowing what's going on, people can't be everywhere at one time, so we need everybody to speak up and let us know, or let the construction official know, or that office know what's going on and what to take a look at.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, one of the issues is we have a zoning officer. We don't have a zoning officer right now. At least we used to have one that
We have
patrolled through town and find things and report it. And then we got pissed off because he was reporting everything. He's turning everybody out,
Has anyone else from the public have anything to say?
Paula Jogan, I just want to wish everyone here a happy, blessed Christmas. And I want to thank Mark and Kay for all of their years of service, for a thankless job and the big salary that they get. Anyway, we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to also thank Councilman David and Councilwoman Cesari for their service to the borough. You did a great job, and I will miss you both. I wish you well, and I thank you. And I also welcome Wanda Grimaldi to the borough of Kenilworth. I wish her success. And since this is probably the last face-to-face that I'm going to see our CFO, Ken Blum, I wish you well, and I thank you for your service to the borough as well.
Ken, you were good.
Excellent job, thank you. Okay, does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
I do.
Yep.
Couldn't wait for this time. First, I didn't really have this in mind to say, but you twice now. I'm sorry, Fred, but I was never notified on that. When Tony brought it up, I was never notified about that interview. Okay? I had nothing to do with it. And if I do go back and look and find it, I'm not going to find it because Joe's name wasn't there. If I saw Joe, I would have opened it up.
Okay.
I really take offense. No, because you did this to me before. You did it to me with the seniors. I wasn't in charge of the seniors, but then that was my committee. I just want to make that known. And I don't know why you did that to me. However, I had the pleasure of being amongst them today. And a couple meetings back, it was just kind of like everything they do. They're living their life, and I just want to say, you hired, I think, the right person to do the job. However, you didn't say it was for me to take care of, but yet I did take care of it for you. So I hope in January, when new committee liaisons are involved, I hope you pick the right ones. That's all I'm saying, because they need it, and they deserve it. They do. Enough said. I would like to just say my goodbyes because this is my last time on the dais. Our next meeting, I realize, is in Zoom, but this is coming from my heart. I had to write it out, and I'll just read it to everyone. And I'd like to take a few moments, as this is my last meeting, to thank the good people of the town of Kenilworth for putting their trust in me to serve on its governing body as councilwoman for the last 6+ years. It has truly been an honor to help when and where it was needed. Out of the many things I was tasked to do, safety was a big priority for me, and I was able to work with the engineer, have the traffic studies done, and ultimately have the Hawk light installed on Michigan Avenue, one of only 2 in all of Union County, for safe passage and crossing that street to use DeMario Park. Another safety issue was also known crossing 14th Street to play ball at the Little League field. There is now a crosswalk there, which there never was. From the parking lot to the field's sidewalk, so that players as well as their spectators have a way to safely cross that street. It made me happy to see that at least somebody was doing something, because these issues have been long overlooked. As there have been other things serving on council that I have been able to accomplish, be it under Mayor DeLuca and Mayor Karlovich, it's a good feeling to know that I have been able to make a difference for the benefit of others. With that, I want to say to all, thank you for the privilege of being your councilwoman. It has certainly taught me a lot of things I did not know or how to do. But because I was given the opportunity to do so, by this time I have grown with the times and have learned more than I would have ever learned if I was not here to serve you all. I wish everyone the happiest of holidays and a very healthy and safe New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think I can compare to that. I'm a man of few words, but I would like to thank the residents for the past 6 years. In terms of councilman, taught me a lot. I've been in charge of the DPW for the whole 6 years. I used to be committee where no one wanted it because it was a disaster. But I think over the last 6 years, I've brought it from down here up to here. Great group of guys down here that are working. They do a lot of work. The town's shaped up nice. Services are still above and beyond, I think, compared to having to go private. So that's my biggest claim to fame here. I know sometimes I've got some colorful situations and meetings, but it's just the way I am. I speak my mind. I don't hold nothing back. And everything I've done in the 6 years has been to be beneficial to the borough of Kenilworth. And like I said, I served a lot of years here, born and raised. My brother was mayor. My aunt, way back in the day, was a councilwoman. Father, uncle were police chiefs. So the Davids have spent a lot of time in this town, did a lot. So hopefully I can compare to that. And like I said, I wish everyone a happy and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see. Good luck to the 2 new members, council. You guys are going to need a lot going on next year, so hopefully it continues, and I got no regrets. And best of luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, it was a pleasure serving with you, I have to say.
Yes.
Very colorful.
It was colorful.
Just real quick, Mayor, if I can, just so, it's hard to go after that for sure. I wish I would have gone first, but just want to congratulate Billy Morrow and Sabinos Nerys, and I wish you guys the best of luck and success in your future endeavors here as council members starting in January. Also, just for everybody in town to know, the Sandus Express drop-off is this Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and 11th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if anybody has gifts, if there's also something on their website, please make sure you get it to the fire department this weekend, and then the deliveries will be the 12th and the 15th of December, beginning at 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And also wish Kay and Mark, thank you for your service, your time, and commitment. The town really appreciates everything you've done for them and us. And on a last note, I'd like to say Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and a happy and healthy New Year to everyone. And God bless. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy holidays. I wish everyone a blessed holiday season as
We
well.
need a motion.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Is there?
Just one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, it was a pleasure speaking. I wasn't on any committees with Kay, but certainly Mark, he and I shared the DPW committee and the finance committee. And he certainly added an aspect to the committee that I wasn't a part of prior. So, and I remember our first DPW committee meeting, Mark and Michael showed up with an agenda, and it was something that had never been done before. And it was probably the most productive, it was the most productive DPW committee meeting that I was ever a part of in my years up here. So, again, I wish you well in the future, and may you enjoy every other Wednesday of the month. Moving forward.
The first and the third. We know that one.
Yeah. So, even though we disagreed at times, you guys, we all, the seven of us, always have the same goal, and that's for the betterment, even though we have
It's always
different-
been for the town.
Absolutely. And lastly, our reorg day. It's going to be the first Wednesday in January.
Yes. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock here at Borough Hall. So we'll be in person.
And there will be another council meeting, right? There's going to be that
The
Will
virtual.
be the council
virtual
meeting
on the
as well.
21st?
Yeah, the 21st. 6:30, that's at 6:30.
21st at 6:30.
Wait, I need to make a motion. It should go back to January 1st like it always did. Get everybody.
Yeah, I think there was
New Year's Eve, it used to be January 1st, but,
Remember that?
Okay.
yep. Good luck, everyone. I wish you
There's
luck.
nothing,
I'm done, I'm sorry.
there's nothing else to be brought before the council. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.